Welcome to Writing Westward. My name is West, and today I have a quick and honest review of Iron Lung, the movie Markiplier made. I don't have a script because I want to keep it fresh and make it my pure reaction to the film. And I'll try my best to avoid spoilers, but just in case there is a spoiler warning, which is right now, so, if you don't want it spoiled, don't watch. But with that being said, let's get into it. Let's start with some of the good stuff that I liked. Cinematography, really good. The general mise-en-scene and set, the actual iron lung and the oceans of blood were very scary and very, uneasy, and they set up a good tension, and I like that a lot. That was really cool. That was well done. Also, Mark's acting, whenever he was very expressive and like screaming and doing all this very emotional stuff that someone sent down to where he was sent would do, felt very emotional and very charged. And I felt like I was watching a character and I could really buy into it. But when he was less emotional and it was just kind of talking to himself or narrating what he was doing, it felt like I was watching Markiplier commentate a game he was playing. And that makes me segue nicely into some of the stuff I didn't really like. I know that was a short section of stuff I liked, and I want to like this movie because I think it's really cool that Markiplier made a movie, and the production quality is awesome. That was awesome. It was really cool. But I didn't like it that much. And I'm about to get into why. I kind of felt like I was watching Markiplier play a video game at times. The first half of the movie is incredibly slow paced. It's paced like a baby who can't walk yet and has had a leg sawed off trying to crawl. It was kind of painfully slow and boring in the theater. And the reason for this is because Mark kept it very accurate to the game, or I'm assuming, my girlfriend told me he did anyway. I never watched Markiplier's playthrough of this game, but she did. And in the game, you have to solve puzzles, you have to do things, you have to navigate, and we watch Mark do all this stuff, mostly in silence. Sometimes he talks to himself, but it's mostly him quietly doing the things that the player would do in game. And I was sitting there in my chair thinking, oh yeah, this is like he's playing a video game. He's doing the mechanic. And it just really wasn't that interesting, to be honest. It's like, oh, he found a note to cross the wires, and he crossed the wires. In a video game, that would have been a cool puzzle, because you're the one doing it, right? Watching someone else do it is kind of boring, to be honest, which is a really big sin for a movie. But that's just what I was feeling, unfortunately. And it goes on like this very slowly, very slow burn for maybe the first half of the movie. And it's a 2-hour movie. And it's just, it's my biggest issue with the movie. And it doesn't really pick up until he finds this other sub down there and he starts hearing voices in his head from some creature and stuff starts to go a bit bananas. And that's when it gets like less boring, but it's still kind of hard to tell what's going on at times. And they allude to a very interesting world outside of the sub, but the movie all takes place in Mark's Iron Lung and his sub, which is an artsy decision, and I want to like it so bad. I do. But I shouldn't say all takes place. There's a few scenes outside of it that are either flashbacks or hallucinations or whatever. It's kind of up for debate. But there are a few scenes that take place outside of it, and they keep alluding to this world outside of Mark's sub, to this, quiet rapture, this fall of this sci-fi world, the fall of civilization, the fall of humanity. And it all sounds so interesting. Even Simon, who's the main character that Mark plays, even Simon's backstory sounds incredibly interesting. And we get bits and pieces of it, but we never really get all of it. And throughout the movie, I couldn't help but feeling like wishing that I was watching a movie about the quiet rapture, or about the explosion on Filament Station, or about all this other stuff that happened in this universe instead of watching Simon just try to survive in a tiny submarine with like not much going on outside. And I get that the abstraction of what's outside the submarine is supposed to be the scary part. It's supposed to be imagination. But I think it just goes back to the pacing, where if it's just so slow for so long, I think people start to lose interest. I kind of did too. So I don't really know what to think about Iron Lung. Parts of it were good. I like that it exists. I think it's really cool. But actually watching it, I have no desire to watch it again. And I didn't really enjoy my time in the theater with it, which is unfortunate. All that being said, it does have a high production quality, and there are a lot of very competently done things about the film. So I think I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Which is really rough, and I'm sorry, but I don't know, I just didn't like it, and this review is quick and it's honest. Anyway, I'm a YouTuber, you know what I want. Like, comment, subscribe if you like it, and I'll see you next time.